The IMS Dr. Srinivas Patil, Library and Webinar Coordinator Mr. Fakiresh Kamli, and my dear fellow participants. E-library in the 21st century is a topic given for me to talk to you about. I think the participants are from various backgrounds. Some of them are from professional library science professionals, and some of them are students, and some of them are faculty members or from various faculties. Just a minute, let me share. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Continue.
And can you see the slide?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes. So I'm going to talk to you on e-library in the 21st century. So the agenda of my presentation will be dimensions of the information storage media. That's how the storage media right from the Stone Age to web media has come out. Then transformation of libraries from traditional to hybrid nature. The historical development of how the concept of library has come, and now what we are using is a hybrid nature. Then difference between hybrid electronic and virtual library. What exactly the electronic library means? Most of the time it's a misconception from most of the people that the differences between or there are electronic library, automation library, digital library, virtual library, and hybrid libraries are one and the same. Let me highlight you that there are differences between digital library, automated library, electronic library, and virtual library. So I'm going to tell you about all these aspects in my presentation, including definitions of electronic library, benefits of electronic library, challenges and disadvantages of the electronic library. Now, this particular figure will give you an idea about the dimensions of the information storage media in the innovative world. Now, let me take you to the old age, where books were kept under the lock and key system centuries ago, and only privileged people have had access to all these resources. Slowly, closed access was replaced by open access. Now, you go to any college or any university where you can choose your own interested books and other reading materials. So that is open for the users. Now, storage media from Stone Age to web media, that's what I'm just going to highlight you. Then designations and roles of LIS professionals are changing. Like now earlier it was a caretaker of books, but nowadays the roles of the librarians have been changed. So it should be either a director, a librarian, caretaker, information officer, technical officer, analyst, indexer, abstractor, information analyst, data provider, knowledge provider. So there are so many designations and the roles of librarians. But only thing is, most of the people are not aware of the importance of libraries in Indian context. So selective elimination is important aspect nowadays rather than selective dissemination of information. So because of the information explosion, nowadays there is no dearth of information available. but too much information that is bothering us. So selective elimination has become an important aspect as far as the getting information is concerned or accessing information is concerned, because there is no control over internet. Any Tom, Dick, Harry can publish his or her own information on the website, and nobody owns the internet. So that is what there is an information explosion. Then the role of the library has also been changed. Earlier we used to go, now also we are going, but the users or the faculty members or students used to go to the library. But nowadays what is happening is libraries are going to the doorsteps of the users, and electronic libraries one such example, and social media for that matter. Wherever you are sitting, you can access the OPAC of your own institution. You can get the services from your library. So sitting wherever you are, there is no geographical boundary for that. So libraries are going to the doorsteps of the users. Then nomenclatures of the libraries are also being changed. It is not mere only library, but it has become information analysis center, information center, virtual library, electronic library, automated library, hybrid library. Now one step ahead, we are using it as an idea center. Now you cannot ask your students to keep quiet in the library. So this has become an idea center where students are discussing. So ideas are being generated. So that is what it is also called as idea center. Learning resource center. You believe it or not, one of the surveys conducted in 2000 by some Reddy from USA, that there are more than 1,000 nomenclatures are used for libraries. Now, looking into this figure, dimensions of the information storage media in the innovative world. Now people started writing using stones. So let me use this particular slide so that you can get an idea about. So right from Stone Age, in the sense, people started using, or people started writing something on the on caves using some clay tablets. So the first figure that gives you a clay tablet. So people started using these materials to write it down. And slowly and steadily, they started using parchment material, papyrus, and paper invented during the 14th, 15th century. People started using paper media. Then they started using, I think, punched card. Then film media. The second one is film media. So we also used, I think those who are of age more than 30, they might have used films, magnetic tapes. Then magnetic tapes, magnetic media has come. So we used VCR, VCDs. The fourth one is electronic media. The same information was made available in electronic media, that is optical media, digital optical media, that is in a digital format. The later while it was shifted to a web media, that is e-journals, e-books. That's whatever you are getting through internet, that is all web media. And nobody knows what next. So technology is becoming absolute for every now and then. That whatever the technology we are using for some work will not be there for another 6 months. So technology are also becoming absolute nowadays. Now, this slide will give you a clear-cut picture about how the nomenclature, that is the transformation of libraries from traditional to hybrid nature. If you think that electronic library, digital library, virtual library, and automated libraries are one and the same, so you are wrong. I will give you, yes, there is a difference between electronic library, digital library, virtual library, and hybrid library. Let me deal with one by one. First of all, if you don't understand this, it goes very difficult for you to understand the electronic library concept. What is traditional library? You know, that is print materials. The library which has print materials, only print materials, not any other materials for that matter. The library which has only print materials is called as a traditional library. Now the second one is the automated library. You know, that is mechanization of libraries materials, mechanization of library activities is done in automated library. Whatever we carry out in traditional library, same thing is carried out using automation or computers. Now, before we understand what is electronic library, let me tell you first what is a digital library and virtual library, and then I will come to you later the electronic library. Try to understand the concept that electronic library is different and digital library is different and virtual libraries are different. When you say electronic information, there are two things. One is offline electronic information, and the second one is online information. Offline e-information and online e-information. Now the digital library which contains offline e-resources. The digital library which contains offline e-resources. Offline e-resource in the sense, the information or the content which is in CD-ROM database. The content or the information which is there in CD-ROM database is called as a digital library. So in a digital library where only digital collection is there, that is in terms of CD-ROMs or DVDs, whatever it is. Now, another thing is, this is what offline e-resource. One more is online e-resource, offline and online e-resource. So in a electronic library which has electronic information in terms of e-books, e-journals, e-databases, e-theses and dissertations, and e-newspapers, e-reports, etc. Now coming to electronic library and virtual library. Again, there is a difference between electronic library and virtual library. Electronic library can be called as a digital library, but not vice versa. Please remember this. Digital library is a part of electronic library. So electronic library can be called as a digital library, or digital library is a part and parcel of an electronic library. I think very handful libraries in the world are pure digital one. Most of the time it's a misconception, and you might have heard about this and appeared in the newspaper that X university library is a digital one. It is not the total university library which is a digital, but it is a part of but it is a part of the main library. So digital library is a part of the main library. Then what is the difference between electronic library and virtual library? Virtual library and electronic looks very similar. But virtual library in the sense without four walls. Without four walls. If you have a computer, laptop, or palm top, or mobile, or any other electronic gadget where you can access information, is what it creates a virtual environment. So without four walls. Now, but electronic library using the same gadgets but within the four walls. An electronic library may be a website, maybe an university website, or maybe a library's website. Virtual library in the sense, whatever we do in electronic library, but also we are doing it in virtual library. That I will come to you later while differentiating between virtual, electronic, and digital library. Virtual library in the sense without four walls. Wherever you, there is no geographical boundary, no buildings are required. Wherever you sit and access the information, that's all virtual. But electronic library within four walls. So look at the difference between virtual library and electronic library. But it depends on the context. So in some context we use virtual library, in some context we use the digital library, and in some context it is electronic library. There is a hairline difference between all these terms, whatever we are using. Now comes a hybrid library. Now whatever we are using nowadays, whether it's a school library or a college library or a university library or institutional library or industries, it's all hybrid library where we have a print materials, non-print materials, microfilms, microfiches, films, etc. Whatever we have nowadays, it's all a hybrid library. Then idea centers, now ideas are being generated in the library. Earlier we used to use signboards, don't talk, and then silence please, etc. Signboards are being used to in the library. But nowadays libraries are being regarded as an idea center where ideas are being generated either from the student side or from the faculty side. And what next? Nobody knows what will come in future. Now the data center concept has come. I think you might be knowing about the cloud computing. So cloud computing is nothing but the data centers where it's all even it is virtual in the sense, only thing is we are maintaining the data. Even we are not using any drives here. So cloud computing we are using. Nobody knows what will come in future. Now differences between hybrid, electronic, and virtual library. As a digital library, as I already told you, it's a library in which collections are stored in a digital format, as opposed to print, microform, or other media, and accessible by computers. Need not be online. So you need not be an online, but you can have access to digital libraries. Only thing is you need to have drives, CD drives. But nowadays, even the computers are coming without CD drives. Now, the electronic library, it's a library includes electronic contents and services. Electronic in the sense, any information which is available in e-format. Digital materials also those sources that are stored, processed, and transferred via digital or current electronic medium. Digital services are services such as e-reference that are delivered digitally over computer networks. Now, as far as virtual libraries are concerned, virtual libraries are those libraries which are not in real life. It may be a collection of links. It may be a collection of data which are available on a networks and accessible via network. The library does not exist in real life. It is just like the companies or the companies which are existed in paper but not really existed. So one of the examples of a virtual library is that Networked Computer Science Technical Reports Library, so which is pronounced as ancestral. So until recently, the most common method for sharing or transferring files between the users was the file transfer protocol. Several new protocols appeared, that is Waze, Gopher, and HTTP. But nowadays, it is ancestral that we are using. So as far as the electronic library, what is electronic library, which I have already given to you? eLibrary provides collaborative search of all type of e-resources. There's online resources such as e-journals, e-books, e-databases, e-newspapers, e-reports, e-dictionaries, e-encyclopedia or electronic databases, e-thesis and dissertation, projects purchased or open access. See, some of the e-resources available are open access, that is a free of cost, and some of them are commercial or paid purchased. Then e-library is a special library with a focused collection of digital objects that can include text, visual material, audio material, video material stored as electronic media formats, along with the means of organizing, storing, and retrieving the files and media contained in the collection. But these libraries can vary immensely in size. See, electronic libraries are varying from size to size. Depends on the collection. If you have a digital collection, that size varies. If you have online information sources, of course, there is no space required for that. So any individual, so electronic library can be maintained by any individual. So even I have also an electronic library. So another week, just wait for another week, I'm going to launch my own website where I have given to you the number of open access resources for the help for the benefit of the students, research scholars, and faculty members. I have listed out. I have literally gone through and compiled a list of open educational resources. Then open access resources, open access search engines, then thesis and dissertations, journals for that matter, databases for that matter. Even I can also maintain my own electronic library. If I have two books, one book's also in my library, that is called as electronic library. I'll just give you some of the examples of electronic library so that you can get an idea about it. Electronic library can also be maintained by the organizations or affiliated with established physical library building or institution or with academic institutions. It's an electronic or online library where one can have access to books, journals, novels, articles, or any other information over internet. So it's a library in which collections are stored in electronic formats, as I have already told you. So collection will be on magnetic tapes, microfilms, CDs, DVDs, microfilm, or other media, and accessible by any medium such as computer, laptops, iPads, CD-ROMs, or DVD players. The electronic information or material may be stored in an offline server or online, which may be accessed remotely via computer networks. An electronic library, the term electronic library was first coined in 1988 in the report of the Corporation for National Research. I'll just give you a simple definition of electronic library. A website that makes books and other reading materials available to users in e-form. That's a very simple definition given by Cambridge Dictionary. Whatever that is available in e-form, that's all you can have it in your electronic library, or the electronic library where information is available in e-form, whether it's a book, whether it's a journal, a novel, or any other reading material for that matter. An electronic library allows users to read or refer any published item from their residence or office, college via internet. Wherever you are sitting, you can have access to any kind of information. There is no geographical boundary for that. And users have no need to visit the library directly for their reference. That's what I told you. Nowadays, libraries are going to the doorstep of the users. Now, in order to access any kind of a piece of information from the library, we used to go to library. But sitting at your chamber, sitting at your classrooms, sitting wherever you are, even with the help of remote login facility, you can have access to the library resources sitting at your home. So that's a kind of the beauty of electronic library. Now, what are the features of electronic libraries? The first and foremost thing is there is no physical boundary for that. No physical boundary. So wherever you are sitting, no geographical boundary for that. The second one is round the clock availability. So 24/7. Any type of digital libraries can have access to this. So you can have, even at the midnight also, you can get the same information. Then multiple access. The same information can be accessed by many others. And with the help of LAN, the same information can be accessed at a time. Now the fourth one is the preservation and conservation. Preservation and conservation of, though it's a bit difficult, but one can easily preserve and conserve. So it is a bit difficult to conserve the CD-ROM databases. We have to use the same temperature and many others. And conservation as per as the electronic information which is available on website is concerned, no need to worry about. Now the space, very less space is required for the electronic library. Just one PC, one table, that's enough, which can reduce the very nature of, see, one CD-ROM can, in one CD-ROM, we can have 32 volumes of Encyclopedia Britannica. So we can save or we can reduce such a space. Then easily accessible. Any electronic gadget you take for that matter, and you can have access to whatever the materials that are available on your institutions or library website. Then support multimedia components. Unlike in print version, we can, as and when it is required, we can make use of the multimedia components or multimedia effects for that. Then provide links to different digital objects. That is a hyperlinking facility where you can jump or move from one website to another website by just clicking a mouse with the help of mouse. That is what some of the features of electronic library. Then as far as the benefits of electronic library, of course, e-libraries are the best tool for providing online resources for research, which will make easy to its users. It's very easy to get access to e-resources rather than physically going to the library. It is very easy to access e-resources. Nowadays, we have plenty of options as far as accessing and getting information from electronic gadgets are concerned. Everybody owns smartphones nowadays. Everybody owns laptops, iPads, or palm tops, etc. So it's very easy to access the information. Then retrospective search is easy and most convenient than print research. The other day I had been to LIC office just to get my bond paper back. So he took nearly 2 hours to search that particular bond paper. But when it comes to e-resource or electronic library, retrospective search can be made very easily. If you don't know if you know the file name or the folder name or the resource, exactly the Boolean operators, if you know the search strategy, it becomes very easy for you to search the retrospective information. Now searching of index is also easy. Now index searching is has become very easy for the tech-savvy users as far as getting information from the electronic libraries are concerned. Index means it is just what are and where are the components available in that particular source. When it comes to encyclopedia, sir, Hello. When it comes to contents, then index as per as the encyclopedia of any encyclopedia.
So you can continue, sir.
I think somebody has unmuted the mic.
Yes, and now I have muted them, sir.
Yes, yes. Yeah, index. Well, see, searching of index is very easy as far as the electronic libraries are concerned. Now, index in the sense, what are the subjects and where are the subjects available in that particular source? Then it supports for searching with a combination of keywords. Now, when it comes to physical resource, you have to turn the physical resource page by page. You can turn the page wise, page by page. But here in electronic library, using combination of keyword, for example, and Boolean operators also you can use. Boolean operators you can use. You can use the search strategies. You can use the asterisk mark. You can use combination of keywords. For example, phrase wise also you can use. Suppose if you want to know women empowerment in India and USA, so a comparative study, you can use a phrase wise. You can use Boolean operators, a, and, or, and not. So you can use all these types of combination of keywords. Then provision for simultaneous access to multiple files, as I already told you. So multiple files can be accessed with the help of electronic library. Then provision for printouts. See, provision of printouts, whenever you want a printouts of that, format it, and then you can take printouts of that. And no need to visit the same source again and again. You can, once you save it, and you can have access to that. And offline mode also you can have access to all these once you save that, so save those documents. Then for future reference you can save, you can take a printouts, do whatever you want. And the distance learners are also searching their requirement from e-library. Now when you go to physically to the library, only one source at a time can be accessed. But as far as the distant learners are concerned, even millions of persons can have access to the same resources at a time. That's a distance doesn't matter here. Then e-library provides the benefit of or benefit to integrated search to dictionaries, encyclopedia, etc. to the reference desk. The simplest functionality like point and click promotes the user interest. Point and click in the sense, it is just take the cursor, it changes its shape, and click on that, and your required document will open. That is a point and click which promotes the user's interest. Now coming to the challenges and disadvantages. So the computer viruses, disasters, lack of standardization for digitized information, quick degrading properties of digitized material, different display standard of digital product and its associated problem, health hazard nature of the radiation from monitor, etc., makes electronic libraries at times a bit handicapped. But looking into, of course, one should have or one should become a tech-savvy user. This is the age where everything will be dealt with the help of computer as well as electronic gadgets. So we need to orient ourselves, we need to literate ourselves as far as using of these electronic gadgets and accessing these information resources are concerned. Now the first and foremost challenge or the disadvantage of any electronic library is its copyright. So digitization opposes the copyright law, as the content or resources of one author can be simply transferable by others without his or her knowledge. The main challenge is that how the libraries broadcast information along with the protecting the intellectual properties of an author. Suppose you have to get or see, whenever assume that I have submitted my thesis or project to my institution, without his or her knowledge you cannot take the things granted and you cannot use as and when it is required. So there is a copyright, that is the infringement that you have to face. So there are very strict rules regulating, suppose regarding the violations of copyright laws. But in digital era, it is very difficult to save the intellectual property rights of an author or publisher. If it is used for academic purpose, there is no infringement. If it is used for commercial purpose, I think you know the incident happened in University of Delhi, that one Xerox photocopy center. That was a debate that went on, and it was in Supreme Court. So that's what you have to be careful about the copyright. So you cannot copy and paste simply, otherwise it will be detected as a plagiarism or similarity index. Then you have to properly cite in that matter. So you have to get the permission from the students as well as the faculty members as far as the projects. Suppose if you want to digitize the projects submitted to your own institutions, in future use, you have to cite it properly or you should not take the printouts. So there are so many copyright violations regarding, and you have to be very careful as far as access to e-resources is concerned. Suppose whenever you are accessing any information with the help of electronic library, try to give date of access. When you are accessing any website, try to give date of access, because tomorrow that particular website may not be existed, that is vanished. So that is what copyright is the most challenging task as far as accessing and getting information is concerned. Then speed of access. As more and more computers are connected, then the loads on the server makes websites very low, because nobody is going to the library and everybody is rushing towards. I'll just give you an example. During the submission of applications to the civil services examination or university examinations, and as railway bookings are concerned, you have to wait for hours together. So server will not respond to you, because everybody at the same time, everybody will rush into the websites and try to submit their applications. That's what speed of access. If the technology will not evolve to solve the problem, then in near future internet will be of error messages. Then initial cost is high. So the initial cost of modern libraries, such as the cost of the software, hardware, and communication networks and other equipments are very high. So it is very expensive. I told you earlier only, digital library is also a part of electronic library. So that is what we have to be very careful as far as initial cost of setting up our digital libraries are concerned. Now the fourth aspect is bandwidth. So the libraries will need high transfer rates for transfer of multiple media resources, but the bandwidth is decreasing day by day due to its overutilization and overload on the internet. The slow bandwidth leads to slow download and uploading of digital material, which means users have to give more time in searching and downloading their contents. Then the fifth one is the efficiency. With the information explosion, there is a tons of information on particular topics. So it is very difficult to find the right information on the particular topic. You believe it or not, since I'm involved in these metric studies in library science, every 2 years information is doubling. Can you imagine the rate of doubling is the rate of doubling reduces every now and then. Earlier it was 15 years. Now it has come to 2 years. Whatever information available nowadays in different formats, the same size of information doubles within 2 years, and after 2 years it will become 1.7, like that. It reduces very speed information explosion that we could see. It's very difficult to find the right information on particular topic. Earlier we were bothered about the information, the access to information. Thanks to the Gutenberg, so who came out with a printing machine, and then information was made accessible to all. So the authentication of the information is not sure as far as efficiency of information is concerned. Since authenticity plays an important role as far as whatever that is available on internet is authentic, or we can rely on such information, but only handful of the websites and universities give information. I'll just give you an example. Suppose if you want to know the courses offered by Savitribai Phule Pune University. Suppose if you want to know the courses offered by the Savitribai Phule Pune University, you need to go to that, but you need to visit that website. But there are commercial websites that take or they copy the same information from your website and they claim that that is their information. So that efficiency is another challenge faced by the electronic libraries. So environment. So modern libraries cannot produce the environment of traditional libraries, and many users also find that reading printed much easier than reading information on a computer screen. Now every system or every library has their own advantages as well as the disadvantages. Now, as far as the traditional libraries are concerned, we have advantages as well as disadvantages. When it comes to other types of libraries, be it automated library or virtual libraries or electronic library or digital library, for every type of library, we have advantages and disadvantages. But it is up to the user who has to decide whether to search or whether to go to a traditional library or to get the things done with the help of electronic library. It is the user who has to decide. Television has its own advantages and disadvantages. It is how we make use of that television. The same nuclear bomb can be used for disaster purpose, can be used for in the sense for energy creation purpose. So every system or every material, every library has their own advantages and disadvantages. The last one is preservation. So due to the rapid change in the technology, libraries become outdated. Libraries become outdated and its information may become inaccessible. In future, many new formats evolve. So it is difficult to preserve the library material at a standard format so that in future we may use it. The preservation is concerned. Library is the first place to implement any technology which comes into market. Whatever the technology that comes in the market, so library is the first place to implement that. And if you don't implement, students will not accept it, because day by day the students are becoming tech savvy users. And to our surprise, library is the first place to cut the budget. Now 1964-66 R.C. Kothari Commission recommends that, I'll just give you one simple example as far as the university setup is concerned, that 6.75% of the total university budget should be allocated to the libraries. The total 6.75% of the total university budget should be allocated to the libraries. Forget about the 6.75. Now the universities are giving 1.2% of the total university budget. You believe it or not, whenever there is a financial crunch or faced by the university, library is the first place to cut the budget. At one side, we have so many expectations from the library, and at the another side, there is a budget head as well as, and you believe it or not, most of the university or institutions, an in-charge library you will see, no full-time librarians for that. So it is very difficult for the professionals to preserve the materials. Now, I will just give you some of the examples of electronic library where you will see the abundant information. That's the first one is openlibrary.org. One of the best resources as far as getting electronic books are concerned. Just visit this. I'll just drop this PowerPoint presentation to the webinar coordinator, so you can make use of such resources. Then after 1 week or 10 days of time, I will launch my own website, where you will see that my website will give you one-stop solution for all the resources, research resources, as far as the budding researchers are concerned, as well as the faculty members are concerned. Because what happens, the mediocre, or you can say the institutions, it is very difficult for them to afford for the commercial databases or commercial resources. One need to pay lakhs together money as far as getting access to such resources are concerned. So openlibrary.org is one such resource where you can have access to any kind of books, whether it's art, whether it's a fantasy, biography, science, recipes, romance, etc. Now the second one is a digital library, global digital library, where you can see. I'll just give you an example. There are two kinds of electronic library. Electronic libraries maintained by the institutions or organizations, and electronic libraries maintained by an individuals. They're just, if you need to have a login and password, so whenever you want to read a book or a novel, just log in and password, and that will be downloaded. So global digital library is one such electronic library where you can have access to most of the resources. One thing you have to remember, the size, as I already told you, the size depends on the library. Size vary from library to library. Suppose if one library has 500 novels, the second library may have millions together novels. Not only it is novel, but related to subject books also we have, which are available free of cost. Now I think Digital Library of India, this is one of the finest or best electronic libraries that India has ever produced. It's under Ministry of Human Resource Development. So you will study at home, then school related, CBSE examination preparatory, engineering related, science related, humanities. Once you have to visit this, see every discipline it has been covered. So you can browse, you can search the old data, and those who are on co-ed research, you can have access to scholarly publications. Data sets are available free of cost. Documents and videos are available free of cost. Journals and conferences are available free of cost. That is conference proceedings. Then challenges, startup and ideas funding. So everything. And as far as the study at home is concerned, you can have those who belongs to commerce or MBA or some commerce line. So you can law and management related aspects. Just click there, and then you will get the videos, free videos available, free books available. You can make use of such resources. Then this is elibrary.net, where science and art find an ebook that interests you and read reviews by past readers. We have over 500 free ebooks on different category. They have made some different category, and then you can go through these e-libraries. Then GTU e-library, that is Gujarat Technological. There are number of, and one more name of the library I will just give you. IIT Gujarat. Just visit the library website of IIT Gujarat and click on the open sources available. You will see abundant information given and which is compiled by the library professionals, and you can rely on the sources given in that particular website. Got that idea? So Gujarat Technological University, just click on other resources or free ebooks, where you will get and even GTU repository, that's free of cost. So click on other e-resources and free ebooks, where you will get a number of free ebooks on different subjects. Another one is Crabtree, that is publishing company. Again, to help kids keep reading during the COVID-19 self-isolation, and to have access to complete e-library for free until August 31st, 2020. So for this presentation purpose, I have just went through some of the search engines, and I have just given to you some of the electronic library which are available, or which offer, or which gives you access to free e-resources. Just visit this Crabtree Digital, then